You know who it is. You don't know, but now you're fins to know. It's your boy Mac Tastic, and I'm here to bring you 5 mangas that you must read. Let's get into it. Okay, now starting off our list, we have The Breaker. The Breaker isn't necessarily a manga, it's a manhwa, a Korean manga, but it fits right in. With The Breaker using the black and white manga art style really separates itself from the other manhwas, which use like more of a colored format. Now, to get into the story, it follows Shi-woon, who is a victim of abuse from his fellow classmates. He then stumbles upon a teacher who is looking for the school that Shi-woon attends. He then proceeds to give him some quote unquote encouraging words, but it doesn't seem to cheer him up too much. On the way home, after Shi-woon partakes in his daily beating, he then come across a Muay Thai flyer that he takes in hope of like learning to how to fight. And then he goes into his house, but he sees that his mom is like taking the night shift, so he doesn't really have anyone to like talk to about all the stuff he goes through. So he starts strolling the night looking for the Muay Thai Academy, and then he come across some people fighting in the alley, and it's like they scrapping, and he like that voice and it sounds familiar, and he look in the alley, it's the teacher getting busy with some dudes in the alley, no diddy, and then he comes across, he looking, and he like, this nigga can box. So he in there, the teacher over there banging some niggas up in the alley. And he pull his phone out. He start recording the fight. So after the teacher was done taking out that trash, he then proceeds to go back to the school the next day as if nothing has happened. But in this story, those small fights that happen on the outside of the school starts bringing the attention of a group called Marem. Marem is a group of like martial art mafia people that the teacher is actually hiding from because he actually killed a master. Now, to wrap things up a bit, this is a real nice action packed Battle Shonen X series that you should add to your list if you haven't already. So, we're going to switch it up a bit. I introduce you to the manga Fort of Apocalypse, where the main character, Yoshiaki Maeda, is in for murder. And he's framed for murder because he says he's innocent, he doesn't know anything, telling them, please believe me, he was just a witness that happened to be at the crime scene. But they still take him in, and the people kind of think he's like showing no remorse, and he's like, they won't listen to me either, and he doesn't know what to do. So to speed things up a bit, he meets these 3 other convicts who are going to be the side characters, play very important roles throughout the story. So out of nowhere, zombies just start popping up one by one. Cops getting bit, other pedestrians getting killed, civilians getting killed. The news don't know what they're doing, but inside the prison, it's all still the same. It's the same day to them. But outside, it's complete pandemonium. While him and everyone else in the cell is outside on the courtyard, a police van out of the blue crashes into a pole. They go to check it out. There's one policeman dead, and another person comes out the back who is then a zombie. This is now the first zombie that is in the jail. Now, the art in this manga, the art is glorious. The monsters are hideous, and the art really makes you focus in on the zombies and the gore and the grotesque looks of their face. The characters have basically simple personalities, but they're still very interesting, and the enjoyment between like the bonds of the characters is pretty satisfying. This is definitely something you should read. Now this next one, Shido, is some real peak, like chef's kiss. I first came across Shido, I didn't even know what it was. I was scrolling through Pinterest, I saw this panel. I'm gonna put it up right here. I saw this panel. It was like these 2 kids holding these like bamboo blades, and I'm like, this look kind of cool. Like the art kind of looks similar to like a little bit of Takehiko Inoue Vagabond mixed with Blade of the Immortal, and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. What's this manga about? And it's about like these 2 siblings during like the shogunate. It's like around when the Europeans came to invade Japan and stuff. Now, the disease cholera is spreading like wildfire throughout Japan. Their mother ends up becoming succumbing to the disease and getting sick, and her last words to them is to take their dad's sword and hone their skills. This world is unfair. If you weak, you die. Now, throughout this manga, they really live by that motto, and that really keeps them going. See, currently I am not finished with this manga, but whew, the artwork in here is fantastic. They got some amazing uh full page spreads. They got some good choreographed fights, great characters, high stakes, high risk, high rewards. This is for sure a manga you should look into. Now, Shaman King. Shaman King is actually one of my favorite mangas I've read in the last couple years out of the Shonen Jump catalog. Shaman King follows Yo Asakura, a shaman. Shamans have the ability to see ghosts and interact with spirits who passed away. It follows the story of him and his friend Manta. I know Shaman King did have a reboot anime series, but I heard not too many people enjoyed that as much as they did the older 2000s one. But the manga is definitely where it strives the best at. The side characters are amazing. Each side character is important enough where they can carry an arc by themselves. No one really gets left behind in like the power scaling, not like Dragon Ball Z where it's just Goku and Vegeta the strongest and everyone else is under them. No. In Shaman King, if Yo gets stronger, eventually this is a person he meets on his journey. Horo will go through a character arc where he also gets stronger. And everyone just rivals each other. And on to my next point. The main villain of this series, Hao, is a bad mofo. He is just like ruthless. He kind of reminds me of like a chill Frieza. If Frieza wasn't too like over the top. Hao's just a very cool and interesting character with his shaman, his ability. His is like his oversoul's like this big fire spirit. It's really cool. I don't want to tell you too much because I really want y'all to read it and get into it. But he is like a really cool character, and they get into some real stuff with him later on. Taste and texture in food are extremely important in life. A man with superhuman skills is regularly hired by restaurants and the rich hunters of precious foods. Now, last but definitely not least, man. Now, this right here is probably top 3 best shonen manga I've read. Toriko is just peak. It got anything you would want in a shonen manga. It got action, comedy, cooking. Obviously, the manga's about cooking. Now in Toriko, you're gonna see some real scrap sessions in here. They get busy with the fighting. They ain't no holding they punches. Nah, they get busy, busy. Me personally, my favorite fight is probably Toriko versus Tommy Rod. I'm gonna put some panels up as I'm speaking. But this fight, the anime did not do it justice. It still looked kind of cool in the anime, but in the manga, it showed the gore. It was way better. The Century Soup arc is literally peak. Toriko, peak. The Four Kings, peak. Now, just a fair little warning, maybe like a little over halfway in the manga, it starts getting rushed due to, Shonen Jump always rushing people manga, but it's still fire after that. The Gourmet World is crazy. The Gourmet World is kind of similar to the Dark Continent in Hunter x Hunter. The Gourmet World is like 70%, I think it's like 70% of like the Earth's surface, and the human world's only like 30%. Like the whole world is basically ran by the Gourmet World. Like that's where they get all the crazy foods. That's where like the strongest people be at. Now you're gonna see Toriko and his trusty self Komatsu. embark on a beautiful journey to fill Toriko's full course menu. The full course menu is essentially about going around the world looking for food to eat and putting that on his menu. But there'd be a lot of bumpy rides with the Gourmet Corp coming into play. The Gourmet Corp is a criminal organization bent on stealing, poaching rare ingredients for their own benefit. They try to take over like the world, try to be greedy and take over like the world's ingredients, and they got some real heavy hitters over there. And these are like the people Toriko tends to run into on his journey to get like a new food for his full course meal, not a full course menu. Like on the Battle for Century Soup, he runs into the Gourmet Court, and that's the fight with Tommy Rod. Crazy fight. Uh, the Beanstalk one, I think he runs into one of the Gourmet Corp's GT robots. He just tends to run into them a lot throughout the story. And if you're a fan of Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Dragon Ball, stuff like of that caliber, you would definitely love Toriko. Now that concludes the end to this video. Be on the lookout for my next videos and follow my socials in the description. Peace.